Many people think that Formula One cars are the fastest cars in the world. However, that is far from the truth. Cars like Bugatti and Lamborghini are right up there when it comes to speed and performance. Want to know how good Bugatti and Lamborghini are compared to F1 cars? Join us in today's video to find out. Both the cars achieve the desirable stage, but it depends more on the proficiency of the driver. Generally, as tested several times, a Bugatti car is faster than an F1 car. The Bugatti Chiron 300 Plus achieved a top speed of 304 miles per hour. The fastest speed of an F1 car ever recorded is 256 miles per hour. However, when it comes to acceleration, F1 cars are faster than Bugatti due to their power-to-weight ratio advantage. On the field, it is always a Bugatti which beats an F1 car in terms of speed. Thus, Bugatti is faster than F1 when it comes to top speed. When it comes to acceleration, an F1 car beats Bugatti every time, mainly because it is 3 times lighter than a Bugatti, as an F1 car is specifically made to turn around tight corners. The short stopping is the technique of having control of the car. The difference in stopping distances can also be credited to the weight difference between the two vehicles, as a heavier vehicle needs a longer distance to come to a complete stop. Face-to-face, the performance of Bugatti cars over the shorter distance has been satisfactory. Analysts claim that the drivers play a key role since their experience can increase or undercut the short braking capacities of the car. F1 season has its 2.4-litre naturally aspired Renault V8, not a Honda. There are many other areas where F1 has been placed one of the most capable cars on the field. On the other hand, the Bugatti utilises an 8-litre quad-turbo W16, which is even the cheapest of the $3 million plus. Chiron makes 1,500 horsepower and 1,180 pound-feet of torque. Thus, F1 seems to have more capacity than Bugatti on different grounds, whereas Bugatti beats F1 on the various aspects when it comes to the capacity. Both cars are highly expensive. The given numbers correspond to the new model of F1 and the normal or the bit old model of Bugatti. There are many expensive cars around the world, but these two models are laid down in the top most expensive cars around the world. For now, if different figures are considered, it is possible to deduce that a Formula One racing car from the 2022 season is worth between $12 and $15 million. Even the display or scale units of the single-seaters have extremely high prices. However, the price of Bugatti, the new model, varies between $2.7 million and $3 million. Both the models are performing better in the racing. There are the different angles and the statures where these two models are varying in their capacity as well as the performance. However, F1 has a strong and a large history of competitions. On the other hand, Bugatti is relatively new to these competitions. It makes the performance of Bugatti a bit less reputable and untested. In the future, there are fair chances that Bugatti will make the strong place back into the market. Nonetheless, if the future direction is checked and analysed, unless F1 comes up with a strong and dedicated version of the cars, only then it can beat Bugatti in performance. Otherwise, the Bugatti would be far better at performing in different events and competitions. There are many differences when it comes to the speed of the cars. Sometimes the F1 car has more speed than Lamborghini, and other times Lamborghini beats F1. Generally, supercars like Bugatti and Koenigsegg are much faster than F1 cars, and even Lamborghini and Ferraris can beat the F1. There are different situations in the speed. These include the short distance, mid-brake and the end speed. Lamborghini is better at short speeding, as evident from multiple competitions. On the other hand, F1 beats Lamborghini on the long range and the end speeding. Having advantage of its weight, F1 becomes speedier at the end of the race or the target. It makes the F1 more standing among all other categories of cars, including Lamborghini. The purpose of the origin of both models is different. Lamborghini began with the intent of creating luxury sports cars, but F1 origins are steeped in racing tradition. The owner and manufacturer of F1 loved motor racing at a first and did not plan on creating road cars. His racing team attracted some of the most talented drivers of the time, and they became very successful. F1 then decided he wanted to experiment with creating a new design. Thus, when it comes to racing, F1 has an advantage of origin since they stepped in as the racing pioneers rather than the luxury products. It should come as no surprise that both F1 and Lamborghinis come with a hefty price tag. Buying a world-class luxury supercar doesn't come cheap. The cheapest models available will cost you a few $100,000. Lamborghinis overall tend to be a bit more expensive than F1. However, some of the models, i.e. recent ones, tend to be much more expensive than Lamborghinis. Currently, both the categories of cars are sold in the multiple $1 million. It is because these cars are not affordable for every individual. Rather, the same are possessed by the larger firms having a good sense of racing and interest in the racing events. In terms of revenue, F1 is ahead of Lamborghini. This doesn't necessarily mean that Ferrari is better, but rather that they have a larger business operation. Both companies have decided to maintain their image as luxury Italian sports car manufacturers rather than transition into mass production of regular consumer vehicles. The business models of the categories of cars are largely expensive and target the specific audience. These audiences are not ordinary. Rather, they are the ones which own large businesses and keep sharp interest in gaming, racing, and similar sports of competition. Luxury car makers often have a much smaller selection of vehicles than regular car brands. There is always a tricky and technical difference between the models. Sometimes the user finds it easy to find the distinction between the two categories. However, the choice becomes hard and self-questionable when it comes to the same category models. Supercars take more time and effort to construct and manufacture. Let's face it, this process cannot be rushed. It can take years for high-end manufacturers to release successors to existing models. Recently, F1 has begun releasing more car models, each one with more impressive features and figures. Lamborghini has fewer models, but they are more focused on road cars. Lamborghini has focused its efforts on creating high-end road cars and SUVs that deliver incredible performance. Although Lamborghini participates in racing too, Ferrari is still ahead in that game. When comparing performance, these two luxury cars are neck and neck. It's difficult to differentiate who comes out on top, and the differences are usually minimal. Even the analysts find it a difficult task to compare the two on the lines of performance. It is because both cars have given a very fair view of their credibility and they have outperformed each other on different scales. It makes the differences a challenging task for the audience to come up with so many points of difference. If anyone is looking to drive a luxury car, then speed is probably important to you. Ferrari's catalogue of models is the fastest overall, but that doesn't mean Lamborghinis are slow. Speed depends on the model, so it's difficult to give a fair comparison. The F1 can go from 0 to 60 in only 2.4 seconds, but the Lamborghini Huracan performance matches these figures. There you have it, the comparison between F1 cars and Bugatti Chiron and Lamborghini. F1 cars are purely designed to go as fast as they can. However, these cars also have specifications that make them go head-to-head with any F1 car.